Now, here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Well, the humidity levels right now about as high as they get all year long. In fact, that'll help to promote some patchy fog overnight, just a tremendous amount of moisture, so the air feels wet even when it's not showering. And a couple of showers on live Pinpoint Doppler 12 radar, but most of them are actually offshore. Take a look at the high temperatures today. Upper 70s. This will seem cool compared to what's on tap for tomorrow. We're approaching the 90s. And when you factor in the moisture in the air, we'll feel hotter, and that is the heat index. So here's what I'm tracking: the heat and humidity Thursday through at least Saturday. Now, when you have a lot of heat and humidity, one of the byproducts, sometimes, not all the time, for isolated thunderstorms. And we'll show you some of the timing on this over the next several days. So at this point, I don't see much in the way of thunder coming up for tomorrow. So you combine the actual air temperature, which is about 92 degrees tomorrow afternoon, coupled with the high humidity, and you get a feel-like temperature called the heat index, and that'll be close to 100 degrees, and that's why the heat advisory has been issued for some areas. The heat advisory criteria is that you have to have a feel-like temperature of 100 or higher for 2 consecutive hours, and some locations inland will meet that criteria tomorrow. Scattered showers, a few downpours out towards Block Island and offshore. Most of this activity is staying away and offshore, so I don't anticipate any rain for this evening, but we'll watch for the visibility, which is pretty good for now. These are live pictures down in Newport, but during the overnight hours, a little patchy fog towards early tomorrow morning. Very warm and muggy. It'll stay in the 70s all night long. It's still just shy of 80 in Providence, 77 in Taunton, and 78 degrees in New Bedford, Newport at 75. Some of the beneficial rain that we had today is now well offshore. More storms off to our west. This will tend to fizzle out and drop off to the south. So by tomorrow morning, after some clouds and early morning fog, it'll burn off the hazy sunshine. The dew point, when it's in the upper 60s to near 70, it's very humid. When it's in the mid 70s, well, it feels like the Bahamas and the tropics, so very muggy. It's getting real close. I'm going to show you the heat index forecast. Now, again, it's not an actual air temperature, but the feel-like temperature. We'll start you through the overnight. The heat index isn't too much of a factor, obviously, at night and during the early morning hours, but temperatures 8 o'clock in the morning starting off at 76 degrees. And then here comes your heat index values by 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Notice interior sections approaching 100, not quite as excessive as you get closer to the coastline. I mean, it's hot and muggy everywhere, but the worst of the heat index values will be found across interior locations. And then by 9 o'clock tomorrow evening, the heat index is in the 90s. You have Futurecast tomorrow morning, early morning fog, then hazy sunshine. Now, when you're forecasting 85 by 9 o'clock in the morning, you can bet the afternoon is going to be hot. So we're forecasting about 92 degrees. And while most of the time it's not raining, just a slight chance of an isolated thunderstorm. It's more the exception rather than the rule, and it wouldn't last very long. Fog at the beaches early in the morning, then hazy sun, air temperature 85, water temp in the 70s. 7-day Futurecast shows the heat and the humidity for Friday and Saturday as well. Temperatures on Friday approaching 90, and once again the heat index may be close to 100. An isolated thunderstorm possible on Saturday, but I think a better chance coming up on Sunday. Warm on Sunday, though not as hot, looking at a temperature around 85, and nighttime temperatures next several nights will be in the mid to upper 70s all night long. So air conditioners are working overtime, and it's excessive in some areas away from the coastline. So if you're earn a living working outdoors, if you have some health concerns, young children, elderly, you want to be mindful of this because it is pretty hot.
It's going to be tough. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Tony.